Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever wondered what happens when a relationship doesn't officially end, but just stops living? Today, we're unpacking a really profound sociological analysis of a stark cultural paradox. We're going to completely break down a deeply researched phenomenon that totally challenges our everyday understanding of what it actually means for a marriage to be over. So why do Japanese marriages die without anyone leaving? I want you to take a moment and really let that contradiction sink in. It's a powerful question, isn't it? It completely defies how we usually picture the end of a relationship. I mean, normally, when a marriage falls apart, there's a physical split. Somebody packs their bags, papers get signed, and people go their separate ways. But the source material we're looking at today points to a totally different, widespread reality. It's this hidden dynamic happening in countless households, where the structure of the family is completely intact, but the connection inside of it is just gone.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The silent paradox. Working, but cold.
Moving right along to Section 2, outside versus inside, the public facade.
We're looking at a massive canyon between public perception and lived-in reality. To the outside world, the neighbors, the coworkers, extended family, the mechanics of the marriage look perfectly fine. They are still legally husband and wife, and everything seems functional. But cross the threshold into the home, and the reality flips completely. The interior has become incredibly cold and distant. There's no longer any warm conversation to be found. The foundational warmth of a true partnership has just evaporated.
And notice this really key detail about the inside reality. No warmth and no arguments. Now, you might instinctively think, well, hey, no arguments? That sounds like a pretty peaceful, harmonious home, right? Actually, scratch that. The source reveals the exact opposite. This total absence of conflict isn't a sign of peace. It's actually a chilling symptom of absolute apathy. They aren't fighting because they've just stopped engaging with each other entirely. It's literally a profound emotional flatline.
Which brings us to Section 3. 3 hidden pressures. Why do they stay?
We really need to look at the macro-level structural forces at play here. Seriously, why do they stay? If you were in a situation that was completely cold and distant, where the conversation had totally dried up, and even the arguments had stopped, what would keep you from just walking out the door? Let's break down the exact reasons derived from our source data that explain why ending the marriage seems so incredibly difficult. So here are the 3 massive, compounding pillars that hold this entire paradox together. First up, social pressure. The cultural stigma attached to a broken family unit is huge, and maintaining appearances carries a lot of weight in society. Second, the economy. The high cost of living, especially in major cities, makes splitting one household into 2 financially devastating. A lot of times, it requires a dual income just to survive, making living single practically impossible. And third, responsibility for the kids. There are deep cultural expectations around co-parenting and providing absolute structural stability for the next generation. Together, these 3 external forces act like a giant vice, completely crushing the possibility of separation for so many of these couples. So, the crucial point is here in Section 4, harder to leave than stay, choosing to stay. This right here is the psychological bottom line of this entire sociological mystery. Remaining under the same roof is absolutely not because they still love each other. The decision to stay has been completely decoupled from romantic affection. Instead, staying together is simply because getting a divorce just seems too difficult. The logistical, financial, and social mechanics of leaving have basically built up into an insurmountable wall. I actually want to read this exact phrase directly from the source material for you. Ending everything feels harder than staying. Let that sit for a second. It's a real emotional gut punch, isn't it? It perfectly captures a very real human instinct. Choosing the path of least resistance when you're faced with overwhelming structural pressure. The sheer inertia of maintaining the marriage, no matter how incredibly cold it is simply stronger than the monumental effort required to escape it.
Look at the question we're ultimately left with. Is a relationship actually surviving, or is it simply just too hard to end? What we've explored today isn't just some specific phenomenon isolated to Japan. It really challenges us to look closely at how social, economic, and familial structures can literally lock people into place. It creates these marriages that don't die with a dramatic, loud exit, but rather they just fade away in absolute silence. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep questioning things, and I'll see you in the next one.